Hi everyone, it's your librarian Stuart Van Cleve, and today I'm showing you how to add a location into the Mosques project tour through Augsburg Digitours. So we're here at the main page of the Augsburg Digitours, and where the URL is going to be digitours.augsburg.edu. To access the back end of the system, that's the side of this that allows you to change how it looks and add stuff to it, you're just going to add a / and you're going to type in the word admin as an administrator. Once you do that, it will take you to the dashboard. Now I'm logged in, but if you're not logged in, it will show you this page right here. You will use the username that you had created for your project, and it's typically going to be your Augsburg email address username without the @augsburg.edu, and then the password that is associated with your username. You're going to log in. And so what you're going to do, most of the stuff you're going to be working with is in the Items tab, which is right up here. So we're going to click on the Items, and then we are going to add an item, a new item to our list here. So at this point, you're going to have a number of different fields that you need to enter information into, and you're also going to have a number of different kind of categories of fields as well. So I do recommend that you take a look at all of these, familiarize yourself with them. So I'm going to just do a lot of tests here. So this is a test site, and this is a test creator. And then the subject is where you are going to add what this thing is about. So we're actually going to have a separate video that's going to show you how to add subjects and how to do that part. But for right now, we're just going to do test subject. Okay, so then we can continue on going through here and looking at the item type. You do want to make absolutely sure, you see that this is highlighted right here, the item type needs to be a CurateScape story. And once you add that, it's going to give you a bunch of stuff that is specific to CurateScape, which is the thing that we call the tour maker that makes all of this into some kind of a tour. A lot of this stuff you see, I'm just doing test. Most of the text that you've written for your location is going to go in the story section. So again, there are a lot of different kind of options here. I'm just doing test a whole bunch just to show you what all of this will look like when you've actually added it all in. Except for the street address, you do want to actually have a real street address here. And we're going to keep on going. You can add files. So if you say, for example, have PDFs or images or video or audio or anything like that, you can add all of it to this location by doing choose a file. So let's see, I had just kind of like a weird little screenshot that I'm going to add in there, and that is going to add that file, and you can just keep on going. Add a whole bunch of stuff here to your file list. So I'll add those two. Tags, you can add whatever tags you like, so what this thing is about. Most important thing is the map. So you want to make sure that your location is represented on the map. That's how kind of all of this works. And so I just typed in the address, and then there is, for example, one location. And so then after I've done all that good stuff, I can add this item. And then you'll see that the test has shown up. To actually get this to appear, to show it and see what it looks like to the person who is not an administrator, you want to say View Public page. So when I click on that, it will actually generate all of the stuff that I had created. Now it looks kind of silly because I just wrote a bunch of tests here, but you can see that all those fields that I'd put in are starting to show up in structured ways that's kind of standardized by this system, by the Digitours. So you don't have to worry about formatting any of this. It does all that for you. You just have to focus on the quality of the different kinds of content that you're putting into the fields. And so here is the image that we had created. I just selected a random thing, but you would actually be able to see a lot more different kinds of stuff. So images and files and all that kind of good stuff. So that is really how you add your location. It's going to be an item that you're going to add that's going to have a number of different fields. You can always go back and continue editing and changing stuff up and saving those changes. Once you're ready for it to go and to be publicly visible, all you have to do is make sure that it is public and then save those changes once again. But just make sure that you're ready. If you don't want it public, make sure it is not public until you're ready for it to be publicly visible. Hi everyone, this is tutorial number 2 in our Digitours tutorials. What I'm going to do now is show you how to add some subjects into an item that you have added, into a location that you have added. So in my items, the last time I'd worked with this test site item, and so I'm going to click on Edit right here, and we're going to go down to this place where it says Subject. So a subject is what a thing is about, and what I recommend that you do here is use a lot of work that other people have done to create a list of the subjects of what your thing is about, and that's the Library of Congress. So Library of Congress has created a huge list of all the things that something could possibly be about. And it's a controlled vocabulary. It's very easy to use it, and it allows you to be consistent with how other people are describing kind of published information. So to find the subject lists that the Library of Congress uses, I recommend going to the main page for the library, which is library.augsburg.edu. And actually I recommend just using the main search bar here, because we piggyback off of what the Library of Congress has done, as most libraries all do. So if I'm looking, for example, at a mosque in New York, in the state of New York, I could do mosques in, and I'm going to do New York. And one thing you'll notice is I'm putting quotation marks around New York, because otherwise it will look for the word York and the word new and separately from one another in a resource. And you want to make sure that those words are together, that they're kind of glued together. And to do that, you put a quotation mark at the beginning, quotation mark at the end. So basically we're saying mosques in New York, looking for books that might be about that. So be sure to limit by books. You can certainly keep things down to Augsburg, or you could open it up to libraries worldwide, which is what I'm going to do just for now. But just know that there are these two options that are available to you. So books worldwide that have mosques and New York in the title someplace. So I'm going to click on that and search for that. And so you can see that one of the books that shows up is a book called The Mosques of New York. So this would be a very relevant thing to something that you would be interested in looking into in terms of what it is about. So I'm going to click on the title of this book, and then I'm going to go up to the description. Click on the description, and you'll see right here that this is all of the subjects, all of the things that this is about. Now the reason why the Library of Congress goes through all this work of coming up with all these subjects is so if you're interested in learning more about exhibitions of mosques in New York State, you can click on this subject and you can see everything else that is also about that same subject. So you want to kind of add your stuff into this broader language so that when somebody clicks on a link that says Mosque New York State, they could theoretically link out to other things that are about that. Now our subject links probably won't be able to do that because we don't have a lot of stuff in it, but it's still a good practice to get into and to understand that there is a subject, a specific kind of organization to the world, and that you are participating in that. So I'm going to click on Mosque New York State. I'm going to take that little piece of it, and then I'm going to go all the way back to our subjects, and I'm going to paste that in. You can continue adding additional subjects to get even more descriptive about your location. So if I do Muslims in New York State, for example, and take out that SU, so I'm doing a second search now, Muslims in New York State. Muslims in America. You'll see that I didn't put New York State in quotation marks, which was my fault, and so we had 113,000 results. If I do that search again, now we have 1,100, and you can see that we're getting a little bit closer to, say for example, South Asian Muslims in New York. So it was a little bit more exact. It's a good illustration of why we put things in quotation marks. Again, with the description, and I could do Islam United States, history, for example. So we're just going to pretend like that is relevant to what we are doing, and we'll copy that and put it into our subject just like that. And then you save your changes, and then that will remember, the system will now remember that you have attached those subjects to your item, which is also your location in the Digitours. Hi everyone, this is the third of our 3 tutorials on using Augsburg Digitours. The very last step that you're going to do when you're all done and you've made your tour item publicly accessible is you're going to make sure that it is actually visible on the tour itself. So this is kind of a two-part process here. One is to just absolutely confirm that your test location, and this is the one that we had been working with, is public, so it's publicly visible. Once you're all said and done with it, I mean, of course you can still continue to change it, nothing to prevent that, but you do want to make sure that it has enough information so that it's not embarrassing, or that it doesn't have a bunch of missing kind of holes in it. But once you're kind of confident and it looks good to you, then you want to make sure that it is public. And so you can see it's confirmed public, absolutely. The next thing we're going to do is make it show up on our Mosques in America tour. So to do that, we're going to go down to where it says Tours, and I'm going to click on that. And then you can see the Islam in America Mosque Project 2017. This is the tour that you are going to be adding your stuff to. So you're going to go over here to where it says Edit, and you're going to click on Edit. And then, do not worry about any of this. In fact, do not touch this. You're going to instead want to go up here to where it says Items. You're going to click on that. And then we're going to add an item to the tour. And this is the item. You're going to add your own item to the tour. Click on Add an Item. And at the very, very bottom here, it says Test Site. And I believe that Test Site is what we had been working with this whole time. So I'm going to say Test Site, yes, I'm going to add that to the tour. And you can see it just did that. Click on Done. Be sure to save your changes. Make sure that those changes are saved, because if you don't, it won't remember it. And then just to confirm that it's actually on the tour, you're going to click on View Public Page, and then you will see that it has been added. So these are some other test items that I had done already, but Test Site is the one that we have been working with. You can see by its weird little picture that we had added. So from a user perspective, they will be able to see the site that you have worked on, the item that you have worked on, click on that, and then it will take their user to your specific part of that tour. So I'm going to hit the back button here really quick just to kind of show that once again. And then they can also click on the actual location. So wherever your mosque is going to be located, your Islamic center is going to be located, it will show up on this map, and then a user will be able to click on it and read more about the work that you've done throughout the whole semester. So at a certain point in the semester, when we're ready, we will actually make this tour live for everyone to see, because actually the tour itself is not public at the moment. It will be in the future. But just to give you a kind of sneak peek of what that might look like, is once we make it public and we save the changes, then we can go to the Augsburg Digitours kind of main page, and it will actually show up on the main page, and this is something that anybody can get to, Islam in America Project, and then that's where all of your stuff will be located. We will not do that quite yet, quite in the beginning of the semester, so there's a certain point at which Dr. Zaman and I will make that public, but for right now, we will just say that it is not public. But just so you're aware that that's where all the stuff will be heading in the future. Just remember to add your item, make your item public, and add it as an item to the tour Islam in America Mosque Project 2017.